Okay, today we're going to make meatballs. So we're going to start off today with ground beef. Okay, and I got 2 1/4 pounds of ground beef. Okay, and we also have about 1 1/3 pounds ground pork. Here. Okay. Okay. Now, for what we're going to use here, we're going to put in some breadcrumbs. Okay, and we're going to have some grated Pecorino Romano cheese. If I get the lid open. Okay. Now, unfortunately, being Italian, I really don't measure. What I do is put in what I think is the right amount, and then later on I'm going to cook one of these up. Okay, and I'm going to taste it. I won't do it raw. My mother used to do it raw, but I like better to do it. What I just put in here was granulated garlic. Okay. Now I got some oregano. Okay. And then I have some basil, dry basil. If you have fresh basil from the garden, you could chop that up. Unfortunately, we don't have basil yet. Okay. A little parsley. Okay, might as well take the rest. Throw that away. Okay, salt. Be careful. Don't add a lot of salt because you got, with the cheese, you have some salt in the cheese. Black pepper. Again, just a little in your hand. Okay. Okay, now, one of the other things that I add is, what I do is I puree an onion, okay? So there's really is no pieces in there, hopefully, okay? So when you have the meatball, you really won't know that there's onion in there, but, okay. Okay. And I did 1 onion. You notice it's, okay. I like to try and get every bit I can. Waste not, want not. Okay, now, the other thing my mother used to do, she used to put bread. Now you could use Italian bread, white bread, okay, and just break it up. I have 3 slices in here. Okay, I'm going to break that up. Okay, and okay, then I'm going to, instead of water, I'm going to use a little bit of milk. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to soften the bread inside the milk. Okay. Okay. Pour that in there. Okay, just gotta wash my hands. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some eggs. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the eggs. I like to put them in a separate bowl just to make sure I don't get any shells. Okay, 1, 2. And I'm going to add, say, 4 eggs. Okay, and I got it. Okay, and I'm going to beat those eggs up. I got about an egg, a pound. Now I may add some more milk into this or some breadcrumbs. Okay, but right now I'm going to mix it up with my hands. Okay, I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to take a little piece. Okay. Put it in the microwave. And we'll see how that comes out. Okay, let's try this. I think we're going to add a little bit more cheese. And a little bit more granulated garlic. Salt seems to be fine. Okay, I'm going to mix that up. Might as well finish the rest. Okay. I think that comes out pretty good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to roll them. And I set the oven for 350. Okay. Now, my meatballs are usually about this size. They're going to shrink a little bit. Okay. I like baking my meatballs rather than frying them. I can get a lot done rather than sitting over the stove and watching them fry. Okay. Too big. Okay. I remember one chef, they used to put olive oil in their hands and then roll the meatballs. I never found that necessary because the meat already has fat in it and it's only going to add a little bit more. Okay, and when I set the oven for 350, I usually cook them about 40 minutes, okay? But if you have a kitchen thermometer for meat or other, for your other dishes, etc., usually you want to get the meatballs at least to 160, okay? It should be the standard temperature. If it's a little bit higher, that's okay, but you shouldn't take them out when it's 120, 130. You should make it at least 160. Okay, should. These last couple are going to be a little bit bigger. Just got a little bit of meat in here. Okay. This one's going to be a blockbuster. This one here is going to be a little, I might cut it in half. I'll make two. Okay, maybe I'll make this one a little bit bigger. And this one a little bit bigger. And this one a little bit bigger. Okay, what I got in here right now is 24 meatballs. Okay. Now, once you make the meatballs, then we'll stop. We'll show you what they look like after they cook. And you could use them in the sauce. You could freeze them and then use them at a later time. I do that a lot because obviously we're only 2 or 3 people here, so eating 24 meatballs at one setting is not really going to do it. So let's see what we come out. The oven is coming up to temp. They look like. Okay. And here's the finished meatball. Okay. Now what I usually do is let it cool off a bit. Then I put them whichever ones I want, put them in a plastic bag and freeze. And other ones I'll put in the refrigerator. And when we have, you could eat them like this, or have them with, put them in the sauce if they're already cooked. Okay, and we ended up with 24 meatballs. Hopefully you didn't, like I said, I don't usually measure. I apply things and then taste. I cook it a little bit and I taste it and see if it needs anything else. And if it does, I add more cheese or more spices, etc., or maybe a little bit more salt. But I try not making them salty because, like I said, the cheese has some salt in it itself, and you don't want to overdo it. So basically, that's how I make my meatballs. The beef, pork, some people add veal. I don't, primarily just keep the cost down a bit. I also add basil, parsley, oregano, the cheese, Pecorino Romano I use, or you could use Parmesan, breadcrumbs, eggs, and like I said, my mother used to use the bread with the milk, okay, and mix that up and mix that in there. And I use some granulated garlic, okay, you may want to, if you don't have granulated garlic, you can cut up a piece of cloves of garlic real fine and do that. And then I also use onion, and the onion I literally puree, so you really can't find any pieces of onion in the meatball, but it adds to the flavor. So hopefully you like this. I'll probably do another one. I think the next one I do will probably be a quick sauce that I make, a little bit different on how I make it, but it's just a quick 20-minute, 30-minute sauce, nothing that has to cook for hours. So hopefully you like this. Again, I wish you were here, okay, to have one of the meatballs. Maybe one of the cooking classes, if we do get back together again, I'll make meatballs for everybody. Okay, thanks a lot. Hopefully everybody is safe and healthy and well, and hope to see all of you.